What's up, everyone? I thought I would do a quick impromptu live stream. Let's hope it's on public. I can't remember now. I did this so fast. So if people are coming into the chat, I'll know if this is actually gone live to the public. Filming from my Johnny Carson background. And it might be on private because there's, oh, no, it's not. Okay, great. Sorry for the noise. Normally I don't film with my air conditioner on because it's so loud, as you guys can hear. So for those who are like, I can't hear you, what's up, Dad? It's because I have my air conditioning on because we're going through a heat wave here in California at almost 100 degrees. Very weird. Very, very weird. All right, so today I thought I would talk about, and I'll title this better afterwards, that I title it on the subjects of eating a diet for your blood type or for the Apoe4 gene. Now, this is very interesting because there are some people that I've worked with who do have this Apoe4 gene issue, and they are fine on keto. So this whole thing that you cannot oxidize fat or convert fat into ketones via the liver is not necessarily true. And if you read the journaled information, they still don't understand it very well. Apoe4 gene people have issues with potentially developing Alzheimer's, fat oxidation. There's Apoe, it's Apoe 2, 3, and 4. 4 is the one that's problematic supposedly with fat. And I want to talk about also this whole protein thing and people who feel that they want to go by these standards of eating for your blood type, which drives me insane. That people who are type O, which people are asking me all the time, like so many details. I want to see your blood test. I want to know your blood type, and I'm like, I just don't listen to it at this juncture. People who have O, most people have O, and they supposedly and what is it? If I go back to Apoe 2 and 3, Apoe 2 can handle high fat ketogenic diets, and Apoe 3 can handle vegetables, and Apoe 4 should be eating non-saturated fats because like their cholesterol numbers. Now there's a guy specifically that I worked with for 4 months with the Apoe 4 now that I'm going back, and his cholesterol numbers were really high all the time, and that was scaring him. But back in the day when I was first coaching, we didn't understand cholesterol. Now we do, or more so. I'm type A, I am supposed to be, but which is a joke. This whole type A people, it's, you know, type O are mainly, most people have type O, and they can do high protein, and the people who are type A do well with vegetables and fruits. This is the most ridiculous junk, and if you actually go and read the research information, there's no proof of it. It's the same thing with trying to understand cholesterol, that if your total cholesterol is high, that's going to lead to a heart attack. So you got to understand that science is still very under-evolved. We keep, like, it's the same thing with technology, right? If we go back to when I was in high school, we used Walkmans and like the earphones. We never thought we'd be walking around with smartphones. But if you look at the Terminator in 2000, what was it? I think it was 2029. Like I think Terminator came out in '89, and then they said that in 2029 we'd be able to go through time. So you got to understand the way we are today is we're going to keep evolving, but we still haven't evolved enough to really understand things. Y'all take things too black and white sometimes, which always trips me out. But yeah, don't listen to this whole thing that if you're type A blood type that you're better suited as a vegetarian eating fish, and which isn't vegetarianism, and eating a bunch of fruits and vegetables, especially with the weak gut wall and all this kind of stuff. It's so crazy. I feel better when I eat all meat and fat only. And who's this? Who's this person? Helen, sorry. So friggin' true. So true. And I wanted to do this very quick, and I'm going to go into Ask Steph portion of this, but I really wanted to go into this absolute noise about eating for your blood type, and people are just looking for the green light to do weird stuff. So like, I'm type O, so they just pound the protein down. Well, I read that it's, I can eat high protein because that's what my blood type person needs. This is all baloney, okay? People used to eat bologna. Oscar Mayer, my bologna has a first name. It's Mayer. And the whole thing about Apoe4, like, first it was I got the single double gene mutation of MTHFR. Then it changed to other weird stuff that people, then it's the whole autophagy thing, and now it's this stuff. Okay, Steph, will you be keto? Be your keto girlfriend. Sorry, Chris. I don't know who you are. And in this day and age, sorry. Let's see, I had my one-on-one with you last week, and was the best thing I ever did in my life. Aw, Helen, thank you. I highly recommend everybody has one-on-one consultation with you at least once. That is very true. Thank you so much, Helen. And if you guys want to, sorry, the guy who's like, would I be your boyfriend? If you say stuff that's kind of like, not really following the flow of the stream, Deborah will slay you. Don't take it personal, but if you want to be, on your best behavior, then the comment will go through. All right, you guys, don't forget to like up the stream. We got a whole 28 people in the house. It's so funny, I have to be on the stream for an hour to get towards 100. So we sent off the thing to YouTube. Please trying to figure out why my numbers have gone down on my streams, but I digress. So you just heard somebody say that they are type A and they're not supposed to be eating high protein, but eat a lot of protein or eat protein and fat like carnivore, and they feel a lot better. Let's see here. I had said this, Helen. Hi, Steph. I am on my 5-day carnivore and I've never felt better. That's awesome. Make sure that your fats are really high. You guys know I ran a carnivore challenge. It was one of the funnest things I ever did. I've done a 30-day keto challenge. That was 3 years ago. Then I just did a carnivore challenge, and it's really amazing. It was a really amazing thing. I'll run one again. That one was decided to do like the last minute. But yes, if you guys want a consultation, I have an open calendar now. I actually created a couple different more tiers of price ranges for those who want an affordable consultation. Or those who still want the full thing. You go to stephanieperson.com. All right? And I also have a keto course page where it's a membership, monthly subscription. So if you want to go 1 month or many months, it's up to you. If you want to cancel your subscription, you'd only go a month. But it's very, 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 very dirt cheap, and I worked my freaking butt off on that course page. So go to stephanieperson.com if you guys are interested in a consultation or to join the course page. Or if you just want free content, you can stay here or go to my Instagram, which is Stephanie Ketogenic. Yes, that's what it is. Or my Facebook, which is Stephanie the Business Person. Now, with that said, when I stream from home, it's just like I get these ideas because I do a lot of research, and I just think, well, I'll just, go in real quick and talk about it. Why can't I see the button on the stream? Why can't I see the like button? You have to collapse the chat, I believe. Deborah's explaining you have to collapse the chat, and then you'll see a thumbs up icon once you collapse the chat by hitting the X. And then you hit the thumbs up, and then you hit a chat box icon to reopen. And she's written it there in caps so you guys can see how to do that properly. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Eden. So I just really want you guys to realize that we are omnivores. We ate mostly protein, even down to ants and freaking termites or anything that had protein in it, worms, you name it, we ate it. Plants grow cyclically in season. We are still hunter-gatherers. Our genome is evolving a little bit to where some people can break down lactose, but really and truly, our bodies are pretty primal. And so when people have these ideas of eating for the blood type, it makes no sense that you would be eating plants and fruits all the time when plants grow cyclically, and only 10 weeks out of a year around the springtime, to summer, how are you able to then eat during the winter months if you go by this whole eat by your blood type of nonsense, ridiculousness, and then be staying away from proteins and animal fats. So careful with the stuff that you read. Go with what makes sense. Now, I also want to talk about vitamin D deficiency and also B12, because that's what I'm writing about and talking about on the course page. And a lot of you guys are vitamin D deficient, and it's due to several reasons. And one of the main problems is this whole leaky gut thing. And that's another thing I've been writing about, is the leaky gut. And it's such a part of all of your guys' autoimmune issues, or the inability to adapt, or the inability to break down ketones and use them. When like the diets that we grew up on destroy everything. They destroy the small intestinal wall. They downregulate your stomach acids. They freaking make that mucus lining in your stomach really not where it should be at, to that protection barrier, that mucus protection barrier of your stomach and your intestine. And so a lot of you guys are losing your vitamins and minerals, starting even in the stomach when it comes to your vitamin B12. And a lot of you guys are eating like whitefish and tuna and chicken breast because you've got this fear of animal fat, and you're doing like olive oil and avocado oil and then chicken breast. That's not ketogenic. It's not. It's going to make your immune system fracked up. So I really, really encourage you guys to learn how to go to the red meat side, even if you have to start with lamb or pork, if you feel that it's difficult to break down cow beef, or if you guys develop too many or have an issue filtering the purines and uric acid via the kidney. Now, with that said, vitamin D is something that's also a problem with the weak gut wall. Most of you guys have it. Everybody's at different varying degrees and different levels. You got to understand, you guys, with the whole probiotic thing, everybody has different species of bacteria in their gut. This is downregulated, this is upregulated, you've got enough of this, you've got too much of that. And often when you put in a probiotic that you have too much of a particular strain of bacteria, you can exacerbate the gut by exacerbate the gut and having a lot of that one bacteria that you have too much of continue to grow. And it's an offset of bacteria. So that's why when you do probiotics to try to heal the gut, you start off with 4 strains at a low culture count instead of going into the billions, 30, 40, 50, or over 30. So that's another thing with trying to strengthen the gut wall. What's up, Crystal? Because a lot of people ask, well, how do you fix the gut? How do you, how do you fix that gut wall? Because it's really the leading problem to everything. And I said in the last streams, you have to get rest, you have to follow circadian rhythm, and because you guys don't understand, when that stomach acid, the HCl levels, is downregulated, that means you're susceptible, can I talk, to a lot of issues, especially when it comes to your immune system. Any suggestions? Okay, here we go. Any suggestions why a person would gain weight when going from keto to carnivore? Yes, so, because now we're going into the Ask Steph phase, which I'm still going to talk about D and your B12. You guys, when you're going into carnivore, just because you go carnivore is not the miracle diet. You have to consider a lot of things. So I had heard of stevia. What? Stevia causes leaky gut as well as your thoughts on that. No, stevia doesn't cause leaky gut. So no, you guys, it doesn't cause leaky gut. What it is it's high in oxalates, which leave crystal deposits all over your body. So it doesn't create leaky gut. What is good for CBD oil? What is good? A good CBD? I can't tell you about what's a good CBD oil. The stuff I bought last time, I looked at the package and there was honey in it. you know, next day I ran down and was like, yo, you guys stop with this. Stop. Let me see, Stephanie, about your last video. Why do you recommend? Oh, because kale is a toxin. So kale is a cruciferous type of green, and it literally blocks the ability for the thyroid to uptake iodine. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Kale is one of the most toxic plants on the planet. Get rid of it. So there you go. It really messes up the thyroid. They used to give kale to pigs, and they noticed they started developing goiters. No, it's a no. So there you go with that answer. You guys are missing a lot of D. You guys have like too low stomach acids through like drinking, smoking, drinking alcohol, drinking coffee, because you remember it's that caffeine is messing with the idea, that mucus lining, right, which is going to make your stomach down regulate. Except for my first time on your channel. Thank you. How do you lose weight? That's a big conversation. I'll get to that in a minute. So somebody's asking about why they gain weight on carnivore, and that's because most likely you're having an inflammatory reaction. I don't know if you're doing carnivore where you're eating a lot of protein, or if you're doing keto carnivore where your fats are still high and your protein's moderate to low. If you have leaky gut and you go to carnivore and you're eating a meat that you have now developed a histamine response to, that histamine that you can't get rid of can have a stress on the body, spiking your glucose and spiking your insulin. And when those things spike, you store fat. So, you know, just because you go carnivore doesn't mean it's the answer. I don't know if you're doing keto carnivore. You should be. Okay, you really, really should be trying to drive moderate to low protein on carnivore and very, very high animal fat. And the reason why people, how you lose weight, I have a million videos about this, that weight loss is due to your hormones, and that's it. It's your hormones. I mean, calories in and calories out play a very low part of that, losing weight. Especially if you got inefficient fat cells. Okay, Stephanie, ketones are coming out in the urine some days. Does that mean that I'm not using ketones? Yes, it does. It means that you're not using ketones all the time. Why are you using a urine strip? Are you using a urine strip to see if you're losing ketones? Or are you using a urine strip because it's cheaper than a glucometer? So really a glucometer is the best way to test. What's up, Alan? Is it Alan? Hi. So you guys need to get D. It's super important. I realize that no one sleeps well. People swear that they sleep well. You guys know I do consultations almost every freaking day. When you really do the deep dive into people's perceptions, everything changes. That's why I don't like when people on the stream are like, I do intermittent fasting and I do amazingly, and then you go, or they'll do it on my Facebook, and you go into their page and they look god-awful, horrible, sick. And I'm like, oh, at least look good and look like you're healthy. But we have to be careful because people will sort of be biased in what their desperation. Right? They'll want to, if they're a food addict, they want to keep the dark chocolate in, the nuts, the kale, the peanut butter, the caffeine. They want to keep that on, the cheese, because people are addicted to certain foods. They don't understand the inflammatory response, and they don't understand what's going on with their own digestive tract. Let's see here. Kale is out. Are there any vegetables you do recommend, or just fats, meat, basically? No. So I did carnivore for almost a year. I've broken it, but I'm not saying that I'm carnivore, but I'm pretty much carnivore right now because I barely eat vegetables. It's like if I have somebody over, I'll cook vegetables. Otherwise, it's so much easier to do keto carnivore. There's no it is keto carnivore. But you can eat the cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, asparagus, which I think is a grain. Asparagus, you can have Brussels sprouts. Green beans are not a cruciferous, but you can have that. Just cook them. I'm changing my meal plans right now. Each day evolves. This is like my freaking book. You know, if you're gonna have a salad, I would just do it a couple times a year. If you have spinach, boil it, then saute it, squeeze out all the water before you saute it for the potassium, otherwise it's super oxalate rich. Don't have dark chocolate, not only for the oxalates, but for the caffeine and for the mycotoxins. And otherwise, yeah, you can have all those vegetables I just explained. Let's see, I totally agree that we need to have what solar-based circadian rhythm, and I love how you connect with the how you connect nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, and other drugs. Wait a minute. Drugs to sleep. I share your videos with everyone. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. I really do appreciate that you do that. Sprouts? What? Kale sprouts? No kale, just get rid of it. Maybe I haven't heard of good things about broccoli sprouts. Let's see. You know, just get rid of the kale. I know that's probably a big part of your diet, but I would just get rid of it. If you really want to heal the body, don't eat kale, especially out of season or raw in a salad. Is it Crystal? Okay, let's see who else we got going on here. What you explained makes me think about maybe could be good to eliminate all vegetables some months because of course have digestive issues, inflammation. Yes, so if you actually, people who do that, like they actually follow the cycles of growth, that they'll eat their vegetables in spring, summer, and then, you know, they just eliminate it all in the fall and winter, is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. We need to give our body a break from all of the poison in plants. I said that in another stream and a guy freaking got super triggered. All plants have poison. It's just their defense. You know, you're not gonna have something grow out of the ground that doesn't have a way to defend itself. And so there are more edible poisonous plants. And I don't say, because they say anti-nutrients, people can't visualize that. When I use the word poison with skull and bones and stuff, then they're like, oh my God, no, that's not true. Yes, it is true. They all have a defense, and if your gut wall is weak, which everybody's gut wall to some varying degree is weakened, then when you're having these plants, we're not growing it mostly, most of you guys, and even when it comes to our animals, we're just going to the supermarket. So if we pay more attention to Mother Nature and the cycles of life, then we will understand how our bodies work in conjunction with food. So you don't have to go carnivore. And if you want to go low carb, high fat, I did a video yesterday about low carb, high fat. People are like, I don't understand. And I'm just like, so why would anybody want to do low carb, high fat? And I just want to say this. Some people do low carb, high fat because they can't pull their life together. They have so much stress, they can't get sleep. They've got kids, jobs, and trying to go full keto when your blood sugar is out of control. If you don't get your blood sugar in control doing keto or keto carnivore, you're going to feel like crap. And the people who would this be suited for are people with hypoglycemia, with severe adrenal issues, or thyroid, who don't get their stress down. Now, thyroid people and hypoglycemic people and all those people with autoimmunity, keto would be amazing if you got your stress down and you didn't drive to work for an hour and got home with the second, third shift night workers. And people like this don't do well doing keto, so I put them on a low carb, high fat diet while they get their life in check, especially hypoglycemics, before we go full keto carnivore. So I hope that helps. Let's see, Helen, yes, it's absolutely destroy their adrenals and thyroid. If you want to lose a lot of weight, go ahead and intermittent fast. I did it. Don't do that. Oh, thank you, Helen. She's like, it'll wreck your hormones, especially if you are a woman. Yes, actually for everyone. I mean, the reason why women are relevant is because we can see it and recognize our issues, right? Oh, menstrual cycle is wonky. Oh, I've been shot into premenopause. With men, they don't recognize anything, because what do men do? They come home from work and turn on the TV and flip on the remote control until they go to bed. Women are just like, oh my God, about everything. And so women tend to notice, you know, more women are getting breast cancer, women are getting ovarian cancer, women have issues with their polycystic ovarian syndrome, or their with their freaking endometriosis or their menopausal or premenopausal or menstrual cycles off. So we, by design, are paying more attention to our endocrine system. Men don't. They have a very, very sensitive endocrine system as well, but they don't pay attention to it. Like, if a woman can be like low testosterone, have no sex drive, and be like not fine with it, but like, the life doesn't fall apart. A guy who can't give himself a hand job and get a woody, it's like devastating. It's like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I can't, my sexual drive is down. So for a man, if his sexual appetite is low, it's devastating. But for a woman who's got all these types of things, like, I guess I'm kind of like contradicting myself. But the thing is that our bodies go through so much. It is just so much easier to like pinpoint if there's a problem. Where I just kind of contradicted myself. Whereas men, they don't deal with their health like women do. You see it. This also cause you to lose your hair. Yes. Thanks, Steph, for your input on cardiologists not willing to educate themselves on cholesterol and statins. And they don't. You can actually go to a cardiologist and talk about cholesterol and get them confused because they don't really understand it themselves. That's the problem. We put too much gravity and weight on doctors as if they are gods. You've heard this before. They are not. And they're very biased. Most of them are very condescending because if you go in there and you're like, I Google, so what do? Go to the school of Google? And you're like, well, yes. Then it's up to the individual to sit and decipher through what you've learned and try to come up with some kind of understanding. The problem is that the doctors don't go down the deep dive and try to find out, like men, why is your testosterone dropping? Why did you develop hemochromatosis? Women, why are you menopausal? Why are you period? Why do you have endometriosis? Why this? Freaking OBGYNs will stick you on the pill if you have endometriosis. It's really sad that they don't even ask you about your lifestyle, not just the diet, but the stress, anything, the past, if you were vaginally birthed, breastfed, your microbiome, the gut wall, none of that do they ask about because they have no clue. No clue. So I always get confused when people are like, oh my God, I was listening to this person, they're not even a doctor, don't listen to them. And I'm like, yeah, go listen to your doctor. Good luck with that. When you guys get blood tests, you have to learn, or saliva or stool, you have to interpret our hair. You have to learn how to interpret it yourself and go down the rabbit's hole to the beginning of your issues because you cannot just rely on a blood test, point blank period. You have to go down that rabbit's hole to figure out, like, okay, my hair is falling out, or I've got alopecia, like what, like they just think like when you have alopecia and hair falls out, there's like, oh, it just is, it's a genetic problem, and just like, oh, my genes are supposed to be an ectomorph, an endomorph, and all this absolute noise. Don't listen to that stuff. Steph, what time should you be your last meal of the day? Probably, or set Jay, around 6 is like a really good time just because the sun is going down. So like right now it's 5, right? Time change is going to happen in a couple of days. And so I don't like to do streams at night because I put a ring light on me. Where's the ring light? Over there. A ring light's on me. I'm exposed and I go home and I never can sleep well because I'm having this light in my face and the light is telling my brain that it's still daytime when it's nighttime. So it's the same thing with your digestion. Your body likes to take a break. It does not. That's why I don't understand this stupid intermittent fasting thing. We fast at night. Why do you have to double the fast? So if you're following a circadian rhythm, and like these intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, people don't even talk about the circadian rhythm. Like, you guys just question things more. So when the sun goes down, your body tries to get prepared to hibernate. It's trying to heal itself. It's saying, stop, Steph, stop, sit down, don't do a stream late, because all of those daytime hormones like cortisol will invert and be high at night, and then my body can't heal. So it's the same thing with eating food. When you eat food late at night, the body doesn't go on to full hardcore digestion mode, because the body's like, what do? Do I wake up and digest this food, or I freaking get ready to just sleep and repair? Well, I'm gonna get ready to sleep and repair, and so that food remains undigested in your stomach all night long. This is the reason why you guys wake up not hungry. Okay? You've got food putrefying and rancidifying in the stomach, which obviously creates an inflammatory reaction. You're not going to be hungry, and that justifies your action to run out the door without putting gasoline in the car. I mean, it's just common sense. So when people argue with me like, intermittent fasting is so good for you, and I'm like, not when you're doing stuff. You need gasoline in the car to drive it. Okay? You don't put gasoline and you go to your gym or you go to your job fasted, and there's no gasoline, there's no glycogen, your body doesn't make enough ketones to use, or viable ketones, like you said, that person who was peeing out their ketones. And what you guys don't understand is, just because you make ketones doesn't mean you use them. And that's why we eat a high-fat diet. You're actually retraining the brain, right, to use diesel instead of unleaded. It's a process. It takes 3-month chunks for this process to happen, with a lot of work on your end. So everybody's looking for quick responses and solutions to weight loss or whatever, or to adapting, or anything to you. I do not anything when I fast. Or you don't do anything when you fast. And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to intermittent fast, right, just rest that day. But it still doesn't make any sense to intermittent fast. And people do it because they have body dysmorphia. People intermittent fast because they want to get lean and aesthetic. And as you guys can see, I don't intermittent fast, and I'm lean, and I eat a ton of fat. It always behooves me, like, I can pound down the fat and wake up funky fresh. 52 years of age, all right, 12 years without any drop of freaking sugar or anything. So it's really important that you guys understand it's how you do your application of your circadian rhythm, your sleep, your stress, your breathing, the way you stand. If you're standing like this, that's an inflammatory reaction. That can raise your CRP markers, your C-reactive protein, because your spine is just in the wrong position all freaking day long. Yup. Helen says, when I was doing OMAD, which is 1 meal a day, I could never fall asleep. I would be up all night long until, not fall asleep until the late morning, because my adrenal glands were just pumping cortisol out. And that's what happens. You guys are eating 1 meal a day, right? So there's not enough glycogen storage. That's the gas tank, right? Your body's relying on blood glucose or liver glycogen. It's not enough. And the blood sugar now becomes so deregulated and unstable at night that the blood sugar starts bouncing all over the place, right, when you're eating 1 meal. And the body's trying to keep that regulatory system of insulin and glucagon in balance. You guys develop hypoglycemia. So everything's inverted. Blood sugar's high, cortisol's high at night, and the blood sugar's the body's trying to sleep, and it's like trying to be awake at the same time. And when the body's trying to sleep and the body's trying to be awake at the same time, that's when you don't sleep well. That's when you're tired and you want to hit the snooze button. People don't understand this whole thing. So yeah, eating 1 meal a day is the worst thing to do to your body when it comes to shooting your adrenals out. This communication I did in my last live stream about the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, and you have the posterior anterior pituitary, and it's shooting hormonal, I can't even talk today again, a hormonal signal down to the adrenals to pump out cortisol, right? Because that's going to raise your blood sugar real fast. Well, that's the emergency response. It can happen from only eating 1 meal a day. It can happen from stress. It can happen from having lights in your eyes and going to bed with a tablet and trying to read a tablet, or why you guys are reading from a tablet in bed or TV in your bedroom or have your phone next to your bed. Don't. Sleep is everything. I wake up more refreshed when I eat a tablespoon of coconut oil before bed. No joke. Now some people do that because it might help them regulate your blood sugar a little bit. Reverse kidney disease. Thank you, Deborah. I bought one. Okay. I'm missing in the conversations you guys are having. Let's see. Is it true that low carb diet can reverse kidney disease? You mean low carb high fats? It's. I've heard of people doing well with their kidney disease on a ketogenic, well-formulated, riding that line of keto carnivore diet. Yes, remember, my version of keto or keto carnivore is moderate to low protein, which is putting pressure off of the kidneys. You know, everybody's sitting there trying to pound down like 6, 8, 12 ounces of protein per meal, and they're getting issues from that. Developing issues, especially people having an issue breaking down the purines and uric acid from red meats. Let's see. If I'm missing anything. I have stage 4 endo and had a doctor tell me the other day I need to just take Lupron. You see what I'm saying? And if you question the medical community, they are so offended. And the second that a doctor becomes offended because you're questioning his strategy on healing you, I'm to the next doctor. Okay, I'm not going to communicate with that person anymore, because they try to make you feel ashamed to question, is this the right thing for me? They don't listen. They don't like for you to question their reasoning or their authority. And I understand it, because people question me as well. It's how you communicate out your difference in thinking, like, okay, well, where did you come up with this understanding? Why are you saying 200 grams of fat instead of saying, 200 grams of fat is wrong, and you don't have to eat 200 grams of fat to be in ketosis? And they're stating, hardcore people, they're stating their beliefs, and then I'm like, I don't have time for this, give me a freaking headache. But if people are like, hey, how did you come up with that? Help me understand how you came up with that, then it's super cool. Let's see, walked out. Don't like organ meat, can I do carnivore keto? Anyway, nope. I've said this before, and I've been more triggered today, more mellow. Maybe it's because it's like freaking 100 degrees outside and I've got my loud air conditioning on, but people who are like, can I do something and minimize can I have maximum results with minimum action? No, you cannot. If you want to keto adapt, if you want to do keto carnivore, you have to eat organ meats, because you're going to need your fat soluble vitamins and your minerals. Don't forget, you guys, I forgot. Yes, you guys, I only have one sponsor, and it's Ancestral. They do organ. So, worst case scenario, you can do the supplements. I always say you should eat the actual liver or whatever body part, organ part, just real food. But if not, then there is the Ancestral. So you guys see this company, they're like so amazing. They do head to tail, so they actually do brain as well. So for people who are having vitamin D deficiencies, you can't eat butter and you can't eat egg yolks. Brain, beef brain, grass-fed, amazing. And the code for that, and I'll keep forgetting to link it. I'm going to go after this stream and put all of the links in the description below on past live streams. Is Steph Keto, capital S in Steph and capital K in Keto. And it's Steph, S-T-E-P-H, not F. Or, do you take cod liver oil? I have. I'm not taking any right now, but yes, I have. Maybe off topic, but this live stream, but I am interested in how you get your skin looking fresh at your age. I'm 58, great shape, but my skin is... because I've been doing keto since I was 40, I'm 52, that's 12 years. I haven't had a drop of sugar, so sugar does the thing called advanced glycation end product and damage the protein lining of the cells, and that's essentially aging. Also, I don't intermittent fast, I never drink coffee or anything that will dehydrate the skin, or sit there and not eat, because when you guys don't eat anything and eat one meal a day and the body's like, but you're doing a lot of stuff and I need gasoline, it's going to take it from skin, it's going to take it from collagen, it's going to take it from tendons, connective tissue, bone marrow, and we don't want that. So I truly believe that, and especially on the skin on my body, because I was skating so many years and having sun hit the chest and I started to develop a little bit of distressed, wrinkled skin, probably at like 38, maybe 37, 38. And I noticed it, but then I was like, oh, I'm just so paranoid. But then my mom clocked it. She was like, your skin on your chest is like getting kind of leathery. And then, because I'm brown skin, as y'all can see, and I'm super tan right now, so normally I'm a couple shades lighter. And I was like, oh, my mom noticed. Oh, I'm not hallucinating, it's true. But it's all gone now because of keto. So by the time I hit 40, all of that real wrinkly type of reaction started to just go away. Now I am aging, I am going to age, but the types of aging that I'm doing it's so small in comparison if I were to stay like drinking alcohol and drinking coffee and eating things and grains and fructose and hard on the liver. And you have to understand that a lot of these foods have been genetically altered, hybridized, selectively bred, genetically modified. So even when you are eating nature's finest, it's not even natural because man manipulates genetically everything. And so you're just being exposed. It's not just about processed food, it's also about like, am I going to eat oxalate-rich foods all the time? Or am I going to give my gut a break? So if I give my gut a break, I'm giving the inflammation markers, I'm having them go, down. Let me see here. Do you have any thoughts on strengthening fingernails? Mine have been bending for quite some time. So I definitely think that getting some organs, right? Thymus, liver is really good for nail strength. Other people take biotin, but why take biotin? Because a lot of that biotin's in platform. If you get a supplementation, you just have some organ meats and get your nails strong right there. And Deborah's reminding you guys to book a consultation. She's just spelling it out for you. You go to stephanieperson.com if you don't know how to spell my name. Okay, I know a vegan that had paper skin after incorporating animal foods. Skin changed. You mean changed to the better is what you're saying. Have workouts in your keto course. Yes. Well, I do a ton of stuff, right? So yesterday, I wrote about leaky gut. So I wrote a lot. In fact, I wrote so much that when I tried to post the information, it was too much. I had to split it in 2 different posts. But I cover, it rotates. So it'll be about workouts, how to work out from home, about this sliding filament theory, time under tension, posture. It'll be about that. Like maybe a week and a half ago, I was trying to show people how to do a proper push-up because people have their neck pronated or forward, shoulders rounded, a dip in the back, and the shoulder girdle, the AC joint can't handle the stress on a push-up because people are doing it wrong. So it goes in rotation. So, I'm only one person. So yes, I do cover workouts and exercise, but it's not every single day. But I have days specifically, especially on Tuesdays, where people can go and ask me questions that they're really, need answers to, and then I will answer them. Also on Sundays, I do live mini consultations of about 10 minutes each per person, where you can go live with me as a part of the course. And then I write course lessons. Normally I do like a really hardcore deep dive course once a week, but up to twice a week. I have people upload their food. I'll analyze it. We'll talk about their macros, what they need to take out, what they need to put in. It's a lot of work. I do a lot of stuff. We have group discussions. Right now I'm running another challenge on the course page, which is an accountability partner challenge. So I'm having people pair up, and then they have to do homework. So they work together, and then they have to come back and present the homework. Let's see here. Would you say eating animal fats like beef, some sweat, or tallow are better or healthier than using butter? No, they're just different. If you can actually tolerate butter, if you don't react to the very small amounts of whey and casein protein left in the butter, because butter is the fat skimmed off the protein, there's still a little bit left, then I would say butter, because it still has some omega-3s in it, it's got CLAs in it, it's got the full set of vitamin D, E, A, and K in it. So butter would always be overriding to me tallow or lard. But if you can't tolerate butter, then you have no other choice but then to go to tallow or lard. Because chicken fat is a little bit more higher in omega-6, and we don't want that. Let me see, ruin my skin with intermittent fasting. Thank you so much, MB, for saying this. People need to know. Is it crepey and wrinkly? Now I do boost the collagen. I boost the collagen and protein in my skin, spikes my blood sugar. Yeah, I eat organ meats and fish eggs too. I'm 50 years old. Yeah. So so I've learned that your skin can repair to some varying degree because I was doing too much low fat in my 30s, like we all did. And when I switched to keto in my 40s, then all of the as I got older, I started noticing that like the fine wrinkles or the sag. People are like, oh, black don't crack. But I say to people, but it can sag. Like neck's not dropping, right? Neck's tight, jawline's tight. That has nothing to do with being black at all. It has nothing to do with having brown skin. When you're talking about, the jaw, see that sharp jawline? Those are things that people who are younger don't know. They look too much at wrinkles, and they don't understand that once you lose your collagen, you may not have a lot of fine wrinkles, but everything begins to drop and crepe. So, fingers, hands, face, jaw is a big one when you get older. That people who are younger do not think about the jaw. The cheeks and the cheekbones and the jaw, and then everything goes down. They think about wrinkles. So you can be like a younger person who's in the sun too much and be wrinkly, but still tight. After a while, the collagen goes down. So you just don't judge people on a wrinkle. It's that collagen in the skin, the elasticity of the skin that you still want to keep as you get older. That's what's important. He's your favorite. Cool. Is this enough potassium in meats? Yes. So the whole thing about potassium is the potassium and sodium balance. It's not just potassium. So if you're eating a ton of sodium, then you have to eat a lot more potassium to balance out the amount of sodium that's entering your body. So for those who are like low blood pressure, which is very rare, but people do have it, then those types of people have to be more careful for their potassium. But if you don't have low blood pressure, and you're eating like 5 grams of salt per day, then you can get your potassium from like meat broth. You can get it from bone marrow or bone broth, meat broth, organ meats. Not a problem. We don't need 4,300 or 200 milligrams of potassium. That's insane. Nobody would do that in nature. And if you're doing keto omnivore, you could go ahead and eat avocados and some cooked ass, boiled, strained, and pain in the butt to make spinach to get rid of the oxalates and get your potassium from that as well. And salts, get your Celtic and your gray salt. Hi, was it Ranson was here? Hi. Do hemp hearts work? For what? So I know that some people who've got a weak gut wall really react poorly with histamine response to hemp heart. So, just be careful for them seeds. You actually look younger now than your earlier videos. Yes, my earlier videos, and you have life happen. My macros were wrong. I was eating more still nut butters at that time. I was doing a lot of plant fats rather than animal fats. And I think that once I refined and tweaked and did things the right way and got my stress down and, started riding a bike everywhere and just learning how to get more calm here is when now I look better now than I did in my earlier videos. Okay. I've done raw and I've done cooked. So, and it depends on the type of meat. Like I'm eating a lot of lamb right now because we're getting a lot of New Zealand grass-fed lamb, and I don't think it tastes very tasty raw. I prefer, if I eat beef, it's going to be raw because beef to me is delicious. Raw. I've done So I did the lamb raw and it had no flavor raw, so I prefer it cooked. And with liver, I've done both raw and cooked, and I just prefer mine a little cooked, a little sauteed. So when it comes to chicken, I won't eat chicken raw. Of course, I've eaten fish raw. So I won't eat chicken raw. What else? I've not eaten pork raw because it's hard to find pastured pork here in America. It's hard to find pastured, or they just eat what's off the ground. It's very hard. So I'm not going to eat pork raw. Where do you get your grass-fed liver, Stephanie? So there's a company called Springville in California, and that's where I got mine, and I'm still supposed to do a video on them. I better do it before I run out of the meat that I bought, the like 30 something pounds of meat, which was heart, liver, and ribeye I bought. Oh, and ground beef I bought. Okay, when making homemade calcium from eggshells, how much and how often should I take it? So it's up to you how much you want to make. You can take 3 shells, you can take 10 shells. You need you need like a grinder, like a really good either pill grinder or a coffee grinder works really, really well. So what you do is you have to boil the eggshells first, because the bacterial problem from eggs isn't actually the egg itself, it's the shell where they freaking plop it out of the vaginas. And then that gets a lot of nasty bacteria on it. And so you want to boil it, and then you want to put it in the oven for a couple of hours under low temps, and just make sure you obliterate the rest of the bacteria. It's the bacteria on the shell that's the problem. And then, it'll sort of weaken the shell when you bake it under low temps for a few hours. And then you put it into a coffee grinder, and then it gets really, really powdery. And you can take a little bit of that, a pinch of that, and you just sprinkle it on your foods, if that makes sense. Yes. Let's see here. I just ate lamb liver, not fan of beef liver, my favorite. Everybody loves lamb liver, but it's 10 times more expensive. And I love all the liver, lamb, pork, beef, and my favorite is beef. You get more of it and more nutrients in it. See, where do you get grass-fed liver from? Okay, Springville. Now, liver is hard to get because it's not a huge rancher company, and so therefore, Cal only has 1 liver, so he runs out of it pretty quickly. You know, they have to mature to a certain age, then they slaughter it, then you get the organs from it. That's how it goes. When making homemade calcium from eggshells, how much? And I'll get. So like I said, it just depends on how much. You could do like a whole carton of eggs or a couple cartons. It's as much as you want, because it's not like a recipe. It's like how much eggshell you use is how much calcium you'll get. If you use more eggshells, right? You're not adding like salt and pepper, and you're not adding spices to it. So it really doesn't matter how much you make. You can make a little bit or you can make a lot. It's up to you. So this air conditioning is blowing in my eyes, and we're having fires here, and the air is dry. My eyes are dry. They are so dry right now. It's hard. I want to rub them on camera. Okay. What's it say? Some supermarket toxin infested beef liver. Thanks. Don't say toxin infested. It's not infested. In fact, I've been reading more about non-grass-fed liver. It's not holding toxins. It's fat that holds toxins, like a ribeye. So, if you only have like organic liver, then do that. Can you reverse the jaw drop from loose of loose? I don't think so. I mean, look, there's the whole thing I was talking about using the tool. Where's that tool? It's back there. Hold on a minute. Hold on, you guys. I forgot. My guasa tool. I don't even know where it is. I don't know where it is, you guys, but I have this tool. It's called a gua sha, and it's a tool where, you know, it's supposed to help stimulate collagen. You know, we have a lot of trapped fascia all over our whole body, so people use, like, you know, they use the fascia blasters, and they work. They actually work if you've got cellulite on your legs or back of your legs or whatever, and you're breaking up knotted fascia in the muscle. And if you've got fat, and if you're estrogen dominant, that fat is going to poke through and create this cottage cheese thing. Well, believe it or not, people get trapped fascia in the back of their arms. So women, you're like, oh, I got cellulite in the back of my arms. Stuff that men do too. I've seen that at the gym where men are like, who look lean, still I can see the cellulite there. Yes, men get cellulite, it's just not as prevalent and obvious as a woman. And the same thing on the face. You can get trapped fascia muscle under the skin. So that these tools are supposed to break up the this gua sha tool, I don't know where it is. It can break up the fascia under the skin that's all tight and knotted, and also help with collagen stimulation. So, you know, I use it each day. It's something that I've been using for what, like 2 months now, and I really like it. I don't know if it's psychological or if it's actually working. I think it's actually working, but the tool, let me try one more time to find this gua sha tool. Let me try. I found it, you guys. Okay. There are tricks and tips you can do. So this is the Jade Gua sha tool. This tool is really, really good because it follows, like, people who are into this stuff. This, like, I'm not saying anything new, you know. There's a whole generation of people that know about this. Most people don't. As you can see, that this is all for people, also for people who've got lymphatic issues in their body, swelling, face, puffy, under the eyes. Now, if it's fat under the eyes, this is not going to work. Sorry. If it's fluid, which fluid is more like loose, whereas fat is going to be denser, but you can pull that fluid out and drain it out into your lymph nodes down here. So this tool is really great for that. It also follows the jaw, or it follows the jaw, or it follows, wait, let me see, like this, or like this, right? You guys trying to get this lines between the forehead and break up, you're essentially breaking up the fascia, or the mouth lines, right? So you're breaking up the trapped muscle that gets like this, and it'll create a wrinkle in the face, and then you're trying to smoothen that muscle out. So this tool is really cool. There you go. So I don't just do keto and then, oh my God, I look so young. It's like so many other things. Like I exercise and I really work on my posture and my breathing and my meditation and drinking enough water and using these tools. It's not just, people think if they do a ketogenic diet, it's just gonna heal everything. It doesn't work that way. Sweat scraper for a horse. Anemic causes kids of crazy stuff. It's caused by to express hypothyroid and Hashimoto's. Yeah, a lot of people become an, ooh, I missed somebody. Who was this? The Greece guy? It's like my tech guy is the Greek guy. My girlfriend's sister is a vegan for 5 years now. She's now feeling fatigued, even sleeping 8 hours, and her idiot doctor said she was fine. Believe that? Thank you, the Greece guy. Yeah, I mean, finally, like, you guys have been on the internet for a long time, you know that. And so people used to go, you need to debate like Harley and Durian Rider or Freely. And I was like, I'm never gonna freaking do that ever. And vegans would come to my channel and just blah. It almost never happens anymore because there's so many anti-vegan like, to sort of balance out the pro-vegan. There's so much anti-vegan now. It was just like people just ate the standard American diet or a bodybuilder diet, and then there were vegans and vegetarians. Now there's veganism and anti-veganism, and I love that. I love it so much. It's not just entertaining, it's saving lives for people to not get into this vegan dogma. But yeah, you're right, the grease guy. I mean, and people, like, two of my closest friends were vegan over 10 years. One was 13, one was 15. And there's one woman, we don't talk that much anymore, but she is like a famous vegan, like raw vegan chef. And she started to develop she had to have a lot of orthodontic work. Her gums were falling apart. She started developing cataracts from too high carbohydrates, which is the cloudiness of the iris. And her doctor said, if you don't go on eating at least eggs, your teeth are going to fall apart. So she covertly is eating eggs and preaching raw veganism. You have to be careful with these people because they don't tell you the truth. And then my friend who was vegan for 15 years, he straight up was like, I have no more testosterone. I lost all my muscle. I'm totally depressed, Stephanie. And I was like, are you ready now? I'm not going to say his name. I was like, are you ready now to go off this whole vegan thing? He's like, I'm ready. And within a week, he's like, oh my God, I feel so much better. But I tried to get him off of veganism years before that. He wasn't listening. He was just like, how rude, how, you're disrespectful. But not today. It's called gua sha. It's spelled, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, or gua sha. It's G-U-A, next word, S-H-A. Okay, and there's a ton of videos online. Somebody was talking about it, a friend was talking about it with me on, I had seen it before when I look at anti-aging crap years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, but I never really paid attention to it. And then my friend brought it up again on WhatsApp. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on Amazon and order one of these things. And so now I've been doing it. And like sometimes I'll collect fluid under the eyes. So just start using this, and literally you can see it in just 10 strokes, the fluid go down. It just literally drains out of your face. Because we get swollen, you guys, because our fluid gets trapped. And we think it's, oh, it's aging. No. Get your lymphatic system going. Move your body. Drain out through the lymph nodes that extra fluid, because we're just holding on to fluid in weird places and swollen legs and ankles. And you know what, you guys? Time for me to go. Been on for an hour. I'm going to go live onto my Facebook right now, which is Stephanie the Business, which is the body, which is the business person. Go and whatever, like that page to be on that page. And my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. I'm not going to go live there because I'm only going to go live on 2 places. And yeah, if you want certain content, put it into the notes below, and I'm going to go after all of this and start linking up everything because I get so busy. I don't have time to put links in all day long. I recently became allergic to scallops. Where do I use it? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's because your gut is weak, right? That's overproduction of mast. It's histamine from your mast cells, and when your gut wall is weak, an enzyme called diamine oxidase becomes downregulated, which helps to break down that histamine. So now when you're eating those foods, you're having a histamine response. This is coming from the gut. Yes, that's how you spell it, Deborah. Thank you. Yeah. So this is from the gut. So you guys, all of this stuff, this is a great stream because people are like, I intermittent fasted, developed, crepey skin, hair loss, blood sugar dysregulation, couldn't sleep, hypoglycemia. People are talking about their menstrual cycles. People are bringing up a lot of really good points, and now about the histamine and the gut wall. And all of this has to do with keto. Keto can help, you guys. For people who are watching the replay, keto can help with getting your insulin. You don't have to intermittent fast to lower your insulin, you guys. Like, First, keto came out for years, and everybody said it's really, really great for insulin control. And then people went to the dark side and started doing 1 meal a day and intermittent fasting, trying to lose weight faster. You're losing weight on a scale, but you're losing also collagen, connective tissue, water, proteins in the body you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose collagen under the skin because you don't want to prematurely age from fasting. And people they're so busy trying to get lean here, they don't realize that, and they get lean here, then everything hangs. You get into your 50s, or if you're in your 50s and you're a woman, you're trying to look aesthetic, then the skin gets crepey down here, and the skin gets crepey on the elbows and the hands from fasting, because the body goes into this thing called gluconeogenesis, but too much, right? Not just for the red blood cells, but it goes into it, or to run from a lion, but it's just constant breaking down the amino acids because you're not in ketosis, you're not eating enough carbs, so we need gasoline somewhere, so let's convert proteins in the body, and that's what makes you age. And that's why I get so many emails of people developing crepey skin, and somebody just mentioned it in this stream. So proof is in the pudding, the comments are there, you guys are just putting it all out there, I don't have to. All right guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for having my back. Yes, right, Kevin, was a great stream. It was a great stream. I'm not as triggered today, I'm more relaxed, maybe because it's 100 degrees outside, and I hate air conditioning, especially when it blows in my eyes, because I've got just a wall machine in my shoebox, and it's blowing on me with the freaking dry air where there's fires and crazy stuff going on. Fires aren't near me, people. Every time there's a fire, like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, I live in a concrete jungle. Fire comes to the edge of the concrete jungle and does not burn. Here. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. Thank you, Deborah. The other Deborah, Bermudez. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Deborah Neighbors. Thank you. Thank you for everyone. Have you heard of geographic tongue? No, never heard of that. Cooked raw broccoli for estrogen balancing. No, don't do that. For estrogen balancing, eat more cholesterol-rich foods. Get your stress down, get some sleep. That will help balance out your hormones. Exercise the right way. Don't ever exercise, don't intermittent fast. You don't have to eat broccoli extracts or tinctures or DIM or anything to balance out your hormones. People like to use supplements to balance out their body when they don't actually look at their lifestyle. If you don't fix the lifestyle, those supplements aren't going to do nothing. Okay, that's the same thing with Armor and Nature Throid. Like, you guys, you want to fix your thyroid, don't run towards the supplements. Fix your lifestyle, fix your thinking, fix your stress and your sleep and your digestion. Thank you for doing these videos and going live. Thank you so much. Was it Ransom? Thank you. Ransom was here. Thank you. Seeking the truth in Christ. Hi. Can someone be fat and what? Missed it again. Oh, watch the replay, Erica. You didn't miss it. You got the tail end of it. By far the most educated on this subject. Thank you, Amy. I think that when you go to the other people's channels who are like, can break down what happens to the endocrine system or the cells, you'll hear a lot of science, but you won't hear the application of the science to the different individual. And that's the disconnect. You know, if we talk about autophagy, well, what if you, let's, break down Susie Smith's lifestyle, or Monique, whatever, Jefferson, whatever. If you break down somebody's life, their gut biome, how they deal with stress, are they a night shift worker? Do they have 3 kids? Are you a single mom? Do you have bills? Is your sleep bad? Do you have a weak gut wall? Do you have acid reflux? Like, nobody's talking about these things. Do you wake up 2 or 3 times a night? Are you having hot flashes? Like, people don't talk about these things. They're just like, yeah, go intermittent fast. It's great. You can look aesthetic. And then you've got women who are like, oh my God, I'm hot flashing. Should I take DIM? Should I take DHEA? Not DHEA. DHEA. Like, people are just jumping into stuff, and not even keto. You have to be very careful, and you have to allow a lot of time, and you have to make a lot of changes to your exercise, your sleep patterns, your eating habits, the timing of your food, the way you breathe, for frack's sake, because so many people don't breathe enough. They sit at desks or in their car, with their body's not being oxygenated, the immune system drops. There's so many like little parts. Can someone be fat and have muscle mass they do not jiggle? What? Can someone be fat and have so much muscle mass they don't jiggle? That's a weird question, right? Because I'm a woman, I assume that you're a man, and I want my boobies to jiggle, right? I want the booty to jiggle. The waistline doesn't jiggle. The muscle jiggle. I mean, it's just I'm being silly right now, but I'm basically saying that, yes, I want some parts to jiggle. I want some parts to jiggle, right? Yes, of course. You can be lean and jiggle. There you go. Sorry, I'm just being silly. Don't get triggered, people. Thank you. Don't forget to like up the stream, you guys. Thank you so much for this stream. I hope that my Wi-Fi was not crappy. It's where my building is in the city. I've done everything to make it better, and the best is when I stream at the studio with with all of that stuff. So thank you so much. Have a freaking wonderful evening. I'm going to go live right now on my Facebook page. Thank you, Deborah, for always having my back. Sorry for the one guy who, got deleted, but when you get off topic and talk about weird crap and can I date you and all this kind of weird stuff, I'm always saying to guys, you don't want to date me. I'm too complex. I'm one of these alpha females that most guys are afraid of. Now I gotta go and do another stream. Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you for today, you guys. Bye.